Now I'd like to talk to you about string bends. Bending is so essential to, creating intensity and emotion in solos. What it does is it ties in with the vocal influences of the blues. And when we solo, we're basically singing on our instrument. So it is essential to bend in tune, though. Make sure your notes are in tune, because that's a great way to spot somebody that might not be as experienced of a player, get up there and bend in notes, and they're either flat or sharp or something. So we need to work on our pitch and our control and everything like that when we're bending. And I have some simple little exercises for that here. A couple things I want to talk about. Most of the bending I'm going to be doing right now is around this G blues scale. Now, when I go to bend, I'm actually often going to be using more than one finger when I make these string bends, because 2 fingers are way stronger than 1, or even 3 fingers. So the power is in numbers here. The other thing is, whenever there's a finger behind the notes that are bending, you're actually laying that finger across to dampen any extra noises, because string bends can tend to be pretty noisy, okay? I'm also bending from the wrist when I do this. It's not about using fingers here, it's about you can make a C shape with your wrist, and you can just kind of flex your wrist, and that's gonna move those strings with a lot more power. So, you're going to cock your wrist and use the power of your whole hand when you bend, okay? So let's look at some specific bends here, again on this G minor pentatonic, this G blues scale. I'm going to take the note to begin with, the note C, and I'm going to bend that up a half step to D flat. And I'm going to use these 2 fingers to bend on it, because it's not just one finger. And this finger behind here, the first finger, is going to help me stop noises, as does the thumb, as does my right hand, because you have to kind of work both hands to stop those unwanted noises when you're bending. Here's half step. Here's whole step. So you should just practice that back and forth. That was too far. Here's my D. Or here. So practice your pitch on your bends like that. That's a good finger for bending off of. And I'm going to take the note E, which is a 6, but it's very typical to bend from the 6 to the flat 7. In G blues and all that. So here's my half step. Okay? And I could actually bend major 7 if I wanted to, for a G major 7 chord. And then this note F, the flat 7 in the blues, is a great note to bend. I could bend F sharp, or I can bend a whole step. That's an important bend. It's an important note to be able to bend off of. Moving up here, this is the 3rd finger bend. I'm going to bend to B flat. Bend to a B major, the 3rd of the chord. That's a good note to bend from. Take your flat 3rd, or sharp 9, your B flat, and bend that up to a major 3rd. Here it is again. Okay, bend it up a whole step to C. By the way, there's a 1st finger bend off that B flat note. That's a harder finger to bend on in general. B.B. King makes it sound easy when he does it, but there just isn't quite as much power. Sometimes you're going to like to put your 2nd finger on top of that B to bend that note, okay? 1st finger bends are a little tougher, but they're very cool. So we're going to be playing some exercises coming right up here that are simple little phrases where we work half step and whole step bends. But I do suggest when you're doing this, you check your pitch. Check your pitch. Check your pitch on the whole step. Okay, do that on all strings. You should just move around on the guitar. The strings are easiest to bend in the middle of the guitar, by the way. They're a little harder to bend down here near the tuners because there's more string tension here, and they're harder to bend up here too, but we don't bend there. So middle of the guitar, you could actually just make up your own exercises on bending, okay? Don't forget, bend from your wrist when you're doing this for way more power. And also dampen those noises by laying fingers across as you do. You might need your right hand and your left hand together as you're bending.